Hello there, and this is another Medieval Dynasty video here for version 2.0, and this video here is going to be on the best jobs to level up your workers' skills. So yeah, this is all going to be about your workers and their skills and leveling up these wonderful things that they can do for themselves. And yeah, let's get started on what we're going to do. So first of all, I'm going to list off all of these different jobs and what is the best job that these workers have to get the level up the first and the fastest, basically. So we're going to cover that first, and then we're going to cover up what affects these jobs, their experience modifiers, how their experience works on their jobs and their skill levels work, and what affects them and all that kind of stuff to level them up. And then we can go over the test parameters and what was all tested on my test and how I did it, and determine this stuff and why. Well, the why is easy, for better workers faster, but yeah, and getting all the details on that and recommendations on jobs that you can do, with some more recommendations information at the end also. So yeah, there's going to be a ton of information. I'm going to try and slow myself down, but yeah, there's a lot of information. It's a long video, and it's going to be a lot about looking at the screen here and these numbers right here and going through this information. So yeah, let's get started on the most relevant information. Do the best first, watch the rest to learn everything that you might want to know about this, or just take the best information to heart. I'll get that going right away. So let's get started. The job for the extraction jobs right here is going to be working on sticks. So yeah, making the sticks job right here. So just having the workers do the sticks will level them up the fastest, but the close second is logs, since they have been buffed to a ridiculous amount, over double what they were before the 2.0. Now it's 2.05. So yeah, they've been doubled up and more experience for them. So extraction is no longer a 10-year thing going on there. It's like 5 days. 5 days for sticks and 6 days for logs. So you're not too bad on there. But yes, sticks is still going to be fastest way to level up that extraction skill. And the next one we're going to cover right now is going to be the hunter skill. So the hunter skill is nice because leather was the best one. And leather is the most important one that we're going to want to use for our hunter anyways. Relatively speaking, from my experience, leather is. So leather was the best one to level up myself that I found. So yeah, just go ahead and get the leather worker. It was the best one to go with for the leather. And then on to the next one. Try and go through here fast. The farming skill right there. So farming skill, the best job to level up your farming skill is going to be on the farm shed. That is the field work. So they got to do the field work on their farm shed and just make sure they actually have work to do on their jobs, right? So the way that farming jobs work, if you didn't know, there is like up to 5 jobs a farmer can do on a field, but the farmer can only do one job on that field at a time. There's only one job that only one farmer can do on there. So you can't have two farmers on the field seeding it at the same time. Only one farmer can seed on that field at the same time. Only one farmer can plow it at the same time. So you can initially plow a new field, add fertilizer, plow it again, add seeds, and harvest. So those are the 5 different jobs. They need 5 different actions. And the way the experience works, you got to make sure that all the guys on your farm shed are working. If somebody's not working, you don't want them there, basically, because they're going to be taking up the experience. But that is the fastest way to do it if you can balance this out properly. Just make sure your guys in the farm shed are actually doing the work. So start off with one and just make sure he's doing the work, and then don't worry about the second guy or the third guy later on, because just add 2 right away or add 1 right away, and don't mix and match them if you want them to level up the fastest. But that is for more information later on. Now we go over to the diplomacy skill. Well, that is late game market stall stuff, and there's only the one thing you can do: sell stuff. So that's self-explanatory. Sell more stuff faster. So don't sell big things, sell small item things that are worth a lower value, basically, because that's the way it works. We'll go into more detail on that one later. And the next one is survival, another skill that we're pretty much not going to use because it is for fishing and it is for herbalist huts. And none of these things have any value to me because I already have hunters that can get meat. I can get food pretty much easily. The fish, even though they might be better than actually getting the actual meat from the farmers, and you might want to do that for yourself. But yes, just do the jobs that have do the most work, basically, and you should be good to go. And the healer's hut would probably be better than the fishing hut to level them up with, because you're gathering herbs, but then you have to manually change it every season, which is a pain in the ass to change it. It's just, harvest a lot of items on that season that you can harvest. Pick the ones that have the most value and the most numbers combined together, basically. So if something is equal, just pick that. It doesn't matter. Do what you want for that. Something that I don't really touch. on the survival skills because you just don't use them. Don't really care. You can buy all this stuff for more than it's worth for your time. Basically, it's not really something that's viable to have for your stuff. It's just for aesthetic value, basically. And if you want to level up, go ahead. But you'll get the information on how to level up these skills yourself later on in the video. But that will go for that later. And of course, the production jobs. And one of the best jobs to actually have for your towns is production. Well, other than the extraction, but you want the money and stuff like that to actually pay your taxes. But yeah, production. Seamstress jobs are going to seem to be the best by a long shot, and I didn't even fully test it because they were so good right off the bat. So you're going to want to go with the sewing hut stuff right there. And I tested linen, I tested the fabric, and the thread is a little bit better, but the fabric is the same day. It's pretty much anything goes for this stuff right here. So anything goes for your linen, fabric, and thread for leveling them up the fastest compared to the other jobs that the productions have. This was 5 days for both of them, but the thread came first. But still, at the end of the 5 days, these guys were both leveled up from level 3 to level 4. And the stone guy here was the next best guy, and he took 8 days to level up. And then the next best guy was the workshop guy, and then of course cooking. It took him 15 days for this guy to level up to level 4. So yeah, you don't want your guys cooking. They're not going to get anywhere fast on their jobs. But that is the rundown of the best jobs for your guys that we have right there. So far, the best job for our skills: sticks, leather, field work. Doesn't matter because whatever, just numbers. That's just a numbers game for that. And then of course seamstress hut stuff. It's all pretty balanced, but I would go with the leather bags on those ones because you can get a lot of leather bags and they're worth quite a bit to go on. Well, I got a leather bag on me, don't I? I got one on me somewhere. There's a simple leather bag. They're worth 12, so that's not bad compared to the thread, which is worth 17, I believe. So yeah, it's pretty close. The numbers are there, so it could be a close test actually. Maybe I should have tested it because you don't get too much more than thread. So yeah, simple bags and thread, it's going to be pretty close. But all the leather working jobs are pretty just much guaranteed to get you going for that right there. So how this stuff works and things that buff all these skills for your guys that work in there, and that's going to be the mood. So the mood on the guys is going to affect their production value, and the more numbers they do, the more experience they're going to get, because that's how the experience works on the guys. Of course, you can see the experience for yourself at any time. That's a little experience bar right there. You can see that they get there. It goes up really slowly. There's no numbers. We can't actually see the numbers, and it takes a lot of time to actually see these numbers and these bars go up. And that's why I did this video, because sitting there waiting a year for something to happen, it's just too much work. So that's why you're watching this video. See which goes faster and get that stuff right away, and why it's not going fast and why some things are going faster. But that is because these numbers are here, and then your mood values and the other skills that you can have on your character, like the diplomacy skill and your inspiring speech. It's 5% each for your guys. So yeah, they get 5%. They work 5% faster for each point. So 15%. That affects their thing, and so does their mood. How do you raise a guy's mood? If you don't know, you don't remember, I'll go over that quickly. That is the decorations of your house. Make sure your houses have the best stuff on there for like the stone and the roof for the walls, and go on there and add decorations to your stuff right there. And 10 is the max. You could do the simple. The decoration cell doesn't matter. You could just use simple rugs, and you can use simple the things on the ceiling there. Where's my number? Where's my buttons right there? A little dark in here. You can use the simple little things right here. Use the straw ones right there. 10 straw. Basically, you don't get those right away, so you can make some simple shells, basically, out of them, and just fill them up there. 10 is the magic number, so you can get a 10% buff, which is a 10% efficiency buff on your mood. And, of course, adding limestone to the outer walls increases the mood, and, of course, other things will increase their mood, and that includes having kids and being married. That also increases your mood for your guys. So, yeah, you can get higher mood, and they'll get higher value on their stuff. And, of course, your job, as you skill up in your job, that gives you more mood, too. So you get, like, 2% more mood per level up on their job that they have. So they started off, most of my guys that are still doing their job, they're all on 60 right now. They're at level 4 basically. They all had the same houses, they all had the same 10 decorations, and they all started at the same time, and they all started fresh on their jobs with no experience. For all these guys I did for all my tests and all the different jobs that I did. I did the copper, did the limestone, I did other tests on the other save when I reloaded it to double check stuff with with the well and stones and all the other kind of different jobs that you can do on this stuff. But those are the factors that affect your jobs, workers, and how to check for yourself on these jobs. So let's go into more detail on these jobs so we can get close to the recommendations on what we're going to do for them for yourself, which will help you out in your stuff. So I tested out all these extraction jobs right here. Copper is a no-go. Just do not touch copper at all. This guy is still at level 3 for copper. He's been working on it the whole time. This guy was doing the sticks and he's at level 10. So that is how bad extracting copper is right now for this game. It is really, they added copper to here and they forgot to add the experience to actually do the job. So maybe, so the guy is just, he's almost level 4 now, but he is basically, it is basically crap. So don't go into making copper thinking it's going to be better because you can make better tools out of it. That's not going to work. And coming in second, let's go to the extraction kill. 5 days for the sticks, and the logs in the well did that at 6 days. So 1 day later, the guy working at the well and the guy doing the logs leveled up to from level 3 to level 4 basically. And then after that, straw, clay, planks, and limestone, they all leveled up on day 7, the next day. So they all got up there to level 7 the next day, and stones was right there, right behind them, or the same day basically. Stones wasn't that bad anymore to level them up either. But you want the fastest, you got the fastest. I would recommend sticking with logs to go with your guys. Just make the logs, make your town faster, and sticks is another option you can take later on. Up to you on what you want to do with it. For your guys, but you want multiple guys, so you can put a guy on sticks anyways, because then you don't have to go around and pick up sticks yourself and stuff like that and get the guy faster. Limestone, straw, we tested out. The other things you might want to know, we can cover that now, is having 2 guys versus 1. And that is a question some people might ask, and that is because the experience is shared for the job. So if you have 1 guy doing a job, like I have over here in the straw hut, this guy here is doing the same job. This guy here was started at the same time as 2 guys doing the straw work. Gathering straw, yeah, it has a little bit too much straw I'm gathering right now. This is 1,300. That's a little bit too much. I got to change all that stuff now that my tests are done. But they leveled up at the exact same time for all 3 of these guys did. So with 1 guy working on it and 2 guys working on it, if they have the same experience level, the experience is shared and there is no value to it. So you can have 1 guy on it or 2 guys on it. Just don't mix and match your values if you're trying to get your guy leveled up the fastest on there. Just leave him on 1 guy for 1 job, or start it off with 2 guys at the same time if you want to be more efficient about it, and never touch copper ever again. But if you want to level them up later on, of course you don't want to put a level up the guys in copper. You'd go over there if you wanted to. If I wanted to be serious about level up my extraction skill, I'd go over to the sticks and put these 2 guys together, because these numbers are shared basically, right? So it's whatever the value is divided by 2, and of course this would be 13 divided by 2, which means that guy is working at a pretty nice, good, effective level. So that level 3 guy will gain a lot of experience a lot faster having a partner versus being solo if he's got a higher value. So that's why you mix and match the higher level guys. Pretty obvious and pretty easy to figure out on that part right there. But yeah, none of these don't touch copper. The other ones are all pretty much evened out for the other jobs, because they were all pretty good. Just 5 days versus 7 days, so you're not going to be losing too much having a whole bunch of extraction sheds, which you probably should have to get ready for your mine later on. And you're always going to want guys getting limestone too, so yeah, you're going to want that. And wells just as good as every other job out there now, because it's 6 days, so just as good as logs until they get nerfed, and who knows when that's going to happen. But anyways, because they were over buffed. Anyways, we go over to the hunting jobs right there. Of course, we tested every hunting job that there is that you can start off with, not the level 2 hunting hut that we can get to, but yeah, just 1 guy, 1 worker, because it didn't matter for these tests. And yeah, the leather working was the best, and that was 5 days versus 6 days for the feathers, and 6 days for the feathers, and for the meat it took 7 days to get him to level up. And I think the rest leveled up at day 7 or day 8. They were right behind it. They all hit level 4 before the leather worker hit level 5. And that took him, did I write that down? And these other notes right here, no, I didn't write down how long it took to get his next level up, but generally it's like another 5 days or 4 days later, depending on what's going on there. But the barn shed, I didn't really test that out there because it's been disappointing me on their workers. They haven't really been getting much experience, even though they're doing good jobs. This used to be the best job, but now it's basically the field work for that. But I tested out all this other stuff too, because this is something you might want to know about the eggs versus feathers for the chickens, if you're going to actually have them, and the pigsty and the sheep and the goats, and those are the things that you want to compare basically. And I compared them. And here are the results. The egg guys, don't bother with the eggs. He didn't level up at all throughout my tests, and the feathers did. He's level 6. So this guy was still level 3, and the feathers guy was level 6. But the best job out of these ones here, these 3 right here that you get at the start. Sorry, I'll try to slow down. The best job out of those 3 right there at the start is going to be the pig guy. But it did take a long time now. It used to be a lot faster, and the pig guy took 9 days for him to level up on this pig guy. So this guy with 5 animals going up in there, with the guy working, getting crap, this value is a lot lower than it used to be for their farm. It got nerfed, so his experience got nerfed, but he's still pretty good at 8 days, being the second best job basically, other than stuff over here that we don't worry about. Yeah, feathers. If you're gonna have a hen house, put them in the feathers, because that took them. What was the feathers for the farming? The feathers was 10 days. No, feathers was 9 days, wasn't it? Where is this stuff? Feathers day 10. Yeah, 9 and 10. Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. Then 14. Yeah, whatever. 11, 14. It took a while to get that in there. But anyways, it took them 8 days to get the pigsty up there, and then 10 days for the feathers guy to level up. Or 9 days for the pig. Sorry, I'm getting that confused. Sorry, my bad. I did say 9 days for the pigsty, right? 9 days for this and 10 days for that. Pretty close together. It was the sheep right there. I did this test after. That is why my notes are a little bit sloppy on this part right here, because I didn't have the workers and the stuff unlocked at the time, so I had to start them over at the same values as the other guys. But the ghosts did nothing. They didn't level up at all. He's still level 3, and the sheep guy is level 6. He caught up, because the sheep guy was the better job. It took 8 days for him to level up versus the 9 days for the pigsty. So he got up there a little bit faster than the silly ghosts do. And that's just, ghosts were just a waste of time. But anyways, we are going to go over and talk about diplomacy skill, and that was a quick one because it is just the numbers game basically. The more items you sell, the faster, the more experience, because experience is gained after each action is taken. So sell poop basically. You can sell poop, you can sell your seeds with him to level him up. It is everything you sell is he's going to level up pretty fast anyways. So they level up super fast once you get them anyways. But to make it a little bit faster, just sell these small item inventory stuff that has a lot of it has low value. So sell the low value crap that you can have a lot of, and then you'll make a lot more money off of them that way, and they get more experience. You make the same amount of money because that's your skill is based on per skill point you have in here is like 100 times 100 plus your skill level basically is what you're going to be selling. So to start off, you're going to be selling around 300 gold worth a day off of the guy. So you're going to be getting experience based off of that. But the more items you sell, the more experience that they're going to gain faster, type of a thing. That's how it works, and that's how you level up your survival hut too. So pick something that's going to have a lot of jobs completed in a day. The more the merrier, basically, that you can have for them. So yeah, just gather the herbs or the berries or whatever you think is going to be doing better for yourself at the time. Because this is all seasonal. You can only do one thing a season. Only certain things a season. And if they all have the same value, it doesn't matter if you mix and match them at all, because there's not going to be much difference there. You can start there and make potions and stuff like that. It's probably better than the extra gathering on there, but it's something that don't care about myself, because it just has no value at the end of the day. But that is how you tell if the experience is going by. You can look at that manually yourself if you're gun-ho about it. Sorry about not having the super details on there, but hopefully you got the information on how to actually learn it for yourself on there, to get the details for yourself and get that going on there. But anyways, we can go over here and check out all these wonderful tests that we did here on the stuff. And of course, the sewing hut, these 2 jobs are done in 5 days, and of course the leather bags I recommend will probably be 5 days too. So it's not going to really matter too much. It could be 4 days, or it could be even a little bit less, but it doesn't really matter, because the sewing hut is 5 days, and 5 days is fast compared to the other stuff. And the second best one is stone tools. Stone tools took 8 days for him to get a level up, and copper, he got a level up later on. Much later on, he finally got a level up. So it's not totally horrible, but this guy's level 6 already, and he's probably closer to level 7. This guy was level 5 before this guy hit level 4, and that's how bad that was. So yeah, making all that copper, extracting it all, and then making copper tools is not the way to go. Just go ahead and put your guys on stone tools. You'll make a lot more. He'll level up a lot faster. Your guys will have stuff to be have tools to work with. For all the tests, I need to make 14 axes a day. That's pretty sad. But anyways, the more stone tools you have made, the more experience he's going to be getting, because the more items you're making. That's just the way it goes for the numbers out there. And then the next thing was the bowls that I tested on the workshop, and I was testing it because it was a ×5 ratio on there, because it says ×5 on the bowls. I was testing that part out. That number doesn't have a value. The bowls have its own value, and then the number of bowls that it does. In this menu right here is what matters. So this number right here matters, and this bowls was like, you know, 50 or something like that for its value, because I was getting like, you know, 200 or something bowls a day basically, right? But that, and then I'm only getting 91 wooden spoons, but I'm gonna go in there and go on the limb there and say the spoons will get more experience even though they're cheaper than the bowls, and working with the sticks and stuff like that. It's probably pretty close, and this job right here took 10 days versus the 8 days for the copper tools right there. So it's not really something you might want to do right off the bat, but if you really need somebody to get that value up there and you don't want to do it yourself to get a sewing hunt up and running, just, you know, stone tools is not a bad way to go at the start, and then go ahead and get your workshop going and have him making spoons with the sticks if you're going to power level your extractors, which isn't really the viable thing to do anymore with that buff that they gave, which is horribly overpowered as hell for the extraction because they don't know what they're doing on their stuff. But that is all the stuff that I tested on here. And then for the cooking stuff right here, I should mention that the cabbage was still the best one to do it. They didn't actually modify the beets job value basically on it. So yeah, this took a long time to get the cook level up. So don't go into cooking for leveling up your guys. Production, cooking, cabbage, 15 days to get into level 4. So it took 15 days versus 5 days on the thread. So yeah, that's pretty much self-explanatory right there. Don't go cooking, but if you're going to cook, cabbage was the best one out of these 3 jobs that you have, and they're only, to me, they're only 3 viable jobs that you really can do with your cooking, unless you're going to be making the gruel basically, right? I didn't really test gruel out as a thing, but it wasn't very fast in the first place anyway. So this guy's still level 3. And the beast guy, he got to level 4 eventually too during this test. But this soup right here that's been modified and buffed, it's really good. It's worth 50, and that's when the math doesn't make sense, right? This is worth 50. I'm making 8, so logically the cabbage soup, which is half the value, I should be making 16 at that same value, shouldn't I? But oops, I double hit my buttons there, but I'm not. I am only making 13. This isn't 18, this is 13. And this is worth 25 versus the 50, but this one levels up faster. This doesn't make sense because the experience stuff has not been modified correctly when they modified the beet soup, and they added the more value to its meals and its stuff, and its buff is better. So this is a better soup to make. We can dump cabbage, but not for getting experience right now. So for getting experience, cabbage will still be first, but if you're not worried about getting experience with your cooks and they already have it with the other jobs, you just move them over later on. Then the beet soup is probably going to be the best way to go because it is worth 50 versus 25, and you're going to be making more money off of it because doing 8 a day versus doing 13 a day is worth more than that other job is for value on your stuff. So yeah, you're going to be making more money off of your kitchen making beet soup basically, which would probably be the new best one that we're going to go for. So there you have it on these recommendations for the stuff. So yeah, go ahead and get your guy over to the doing these jobs right away to level up all your guys and stuff like that. I think that covers all of the stuff for leveling up in the basics, and we're almost done here. And that goes on to the recommendations for the other stuff on our skills and stuff like that, and getting our diplomacy up right now. And right now the current bug, if you didn't watch my video, extraction right here is super easy to level up with the well. Basically this well is just overpowered. It's at times 100 its value that it should be at, divided by 2 almost basically. That's what I would have it at if you didn't see it. But yeah, I'm getting 40 experience per bucket of water I fill, which is ridiculous because, you know, the last level you need 3,000 experience and this is 40. So yeah, you can do whatever math that is, but just grab like, you know, 10 buckets, fill them up, empty them out, and then fill them up again if you only have 10. But grab 100 and, grab 100 and you'll gain like 4,000 experience. And there you have it. And then you just dump it out and do it again. And you'll level up your extraction super fast. And for making money in this game, we'll do these tips so you can get an idea on that. And that involves the new system that they use to bug this system. Can I actually interact with this?
No one can destroy
it's still bugged?
the
That's still bugged. Yeah, did multiple takes is bugged. I don't know why that's bugged. You, go away.
How do you do?
Oops. Wrong way.
So long.
I did interact with here. So this is one of the better ways to make the money right now, is because they changed the bronze tools. They changed the bronze axe and the hammer and the scythe to all use 1 less bronze. But good for them. They forgot to actually change the money value on this stuff. And I didn't see anything in the last update that I just checked that they fixed it. Because all of these other items here is 1 bronze bar item is worth 200 But now this one bronze bar item is worth 300. They didn't change the value, so make money off these sickles is the best in the hammers and the bronze. I chose hammers more myself because it just uses a stick versus a log, and it's better to use that for myself than wasting logs that I need for building and crafting and all that kind of stuff. But that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It all depends on their weight for their value, and of course, the bronze axes we used to use 3 instead of 4. I mean 3 instead of 2. So their value is 630 versus this pick, which uses 2, which is almost 400. So this should be worth 400, not 600. That is how you can make some easy money off of this stuff because it didn't change the values. And to make the easy money is grab your donkey, grab yourself, and make a couple trips to the town over there, buy the copper ore, buy the tin ore, smelt it, and make some bronze tools. And, try and get that Bronze Age up and running as fast as possible to do that. But before that happens, I guess you can stick around with copper and do that. I can check again if they modified the copper tools or not. We can check the knife out here. 2 bars for the knife, so 130. We can change this 2 bars, 2 bars, 4 bars, 4 and 2 bars. Yeah, they didn't change anything in copper, but you can just go ahead and buy all the copper yourself at the start and then make the tools and make a little bit of money. But the bronze is where it's going to be at. You can still buy bronze bars straight ahead with no diplomacy skill whatsoever and craft them into hammers and sell them and make money easily. So yeah, that's my recommendation on building up your diplomacy skills is go in there in the town and buy everything that you can use that you can actually craft, and then take all those materials and craft them, then sell them back. So you're going to be buying and selling, which is going to raise your diplomacy skill. The only other way to really do it is to do the quests and talk to the people and flirt. But if you have a husband, you can't flirt no more, or a wife, depending what you're playing as. You can't flirt with them anymore, so don't flirt. And it's also a pain in the ass because the top option is the married option, and you'll get married accidentally if you go too fast. So you got to keep hitting 2, basically, talking 2 and down or whatever to do that effectively for your stuff. And of course, raising hunting skills, just sit there and collect traps. Nice and easy to do that. But that is just a little bit bonus tips on there right now for the current game for the stuff. So you don't have to go ahead and watch my extraction video on that now because I told you that, and you don't have to worry about making the money because I told you the cheap way to do that now is with the bronze tools, because that's just a little bit bent on raising your diplomacy skill because you can't sell the horses anymore for big money. Hi, horsey over there that I wish I could sell again for 7,000, but I can't. Before you used to be able to buy them for babies for 500, and then you sell for 5,000, then sell them for 5,000 when they're adults. But now you just can't. You have to buy them for 1,000, then sell them for 1,300, which isn't really much of a profit in the long run, and that's after you're buff on there. So yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. You can still make money off farming a whole bunch of horses, but it's just not going to be the same. It's just not good. It's just not as good. So that's why I gave those extra tips on diplomacy. But that is all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you got all the information you need to know about leveling up your worker skills, make them do the jobs better, and make everything just work a lot faster so you can keep up with all the production values that you need for everything and all their skills, so they can just pound out the work and get everything done a lot faster for yourself with the less workers. And I don't think I covered the babies in this game, did I? No, I forgot. I've been taking a couple takes and I forgot stuff. But yeah, for the babies in this game, just last little tip down here is when you're pairing off your guys for your workers, for having babies, have the same value. So have production workers marry other production workers, and so on and so on. Extractors marrying extractors, that type of thing, because the babies have their stats are going to be the average of the parents. So you don't want to mix a guy with 8 and 3 for 11, basically, because it rounds down to, so you're going to be looking at I fought a baby with 5 in the extraction, so he has to level up from 5 all the way up to there again. That's why you don't marry them off right away, because when they get married, they might only have 3 or 4 in their skills, and then they'll start off with 3 or 4. Like, I married some guys right away, and I can show you how bad some of these babies are that I have. Well, these guys, actually, they're not too bad. They got 2s and 3s, basically. 2s and 3s are the way they're going right now for their kids. So they're not bad for kids who are like fresh recruits, basically, but you don't want that. you want guys starting off, kids starting off at values at least 6 or higher. So I wouldn't start marrying off my guys until each of them have a 6 or more inside their skills. I kind of usually like to wait until they have 8. So that's when I like to start pairing guys off, is when they get up to 8, because that's a good value to have. So I might start pairing off the 10s with the 7s type of a thing, or the 10s with the 8s, and then the 9s for this skill at least, because they already are higher level and haven't done the pairing off yet in this game. But that's how I pair them off to balance them out there, because they can start at 8 and 9 and 10. All those are pretty high values, and they'll gain experience right away to get to top it off, so that won't matter too much. But you don't need perfect 10 kids, except for maybe your own if you want to, but that would be harder to do because you have to have a wife or a husband that has 10 and everything. But that's how you do it: share their experience and share their jobs, and so put everybody on there with 10 and do that if you want to. For your town, make all the babies start off at level 10 or 8 or 6 or whatever your value is that you want to pick for yourself, for your babies to be good workers, because you don't want your new workers starting at 3 again, because that's going to take you a couple of years to level that up, and you've already wasted a couple of years having a worker having a baby. But that is it for today. Hopefully that's good enough for you, and thanks for watching, and I will see you later.